Tim Zapp here with Borowski Race, PRI day number 1. We have Marcus Carew with us here today. We're going to talk a little bit about the new car, the new build, our plans for 2024, and how we can hopefully
start up the new season right this time.
Yeah, start the season off right and kick it off. So Marcus, I guess for anybody that doesn't know, this chassis is new. It's a 63 Chevy II.
Yeah, correct.
Same billet LS that we had in the previous car.
Yeah.
Obviously that performance has been well. Chassis performance has been well. We've been out testing and do some more testing and hopefully get it sorted and ready for 2024.
Unfortunately, we wrecked the car in July of last year, and trying to find the parts and stuff and put it back together is just more time consuming than building the new car. So this car was already pretty much put together. So we decided to go ahead and finish it out, trying to make the season. So we just took everything out of the Camaro, made a few little changes, and then we built a new car. And so far, the little testing stuff that we've done has been very, very positive. So it's one of them things we just got to get it back out and start testing it again.
Yeah, dedicate some more time to making chassis adjustments, tuning adjustments, and just getting ready. So I guess for anybody that wasn't aware of the 69 Camaro that we had in the booth 2 years ago, as Marcus said, he wrecked it, and he had this chassis and was able to get something put back together in record time, and now hopefully we'll go compete and be competitive.
Yeah, I think the new thing is, what we're going to have is the motor that's in the car has been the same motor that we've had. We have a new bullet that we're going to be putting in it. It's the same LS setup. It just has, it's like a Hemi-style piston, a Hemi-style rod in it, so, hopefully we can put a little bit more boost to it and, whatnot. I mean, this motor here is running 60 pounds already before. So, we're just, all the new technology has come out. We help out with y'all on trying to test some of the parts and see what we can destroy or not destroy, to try to make these things live.
Yeah, exactly. The new engine's just beefier, bigger parts, hopefully be able to withstand and last a little longer.
Yeah.
Not saying this one doesn't last. I mean, we have 62 passes on this engine. All the same parts. We're actually pulling it out after the show this weekend. Going to give it a freshen up, new rods, new rings, new bearings, and
be our spare motor.
Yeah, be our spare engine in the trailer, just in case anything goes south. I think that's really all we can talk about. We have John Sears here today from the PDRA, and
before we get back there, what exactly is different with the new motor?
The only real difference or measurable difference is
275 main.
Yeah, 750 Cleveland main crankshaft. So stepping up from the 2559 LS main, and then going to a slightly larger connecting rod and a slightly larger wrist pin to try to combat some wear we've seen on other combinations at this horsepower level, and made those corrections and excited to try to push them, even harder and try to go fast.
This block here is still the standard main, that's in it. So and it's holding up. It's Energy's done a great job on their motor, the block and stuff, and luckily we've had good luck out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So without further ado, we'll get John Sears,
PDRA Tech Director. Let's go ahead and make the adjustment. There we go. How's that? So I am the PDRA Tech Director. I'm also in charge of tech for most of the radio races that are out there, and I'm also the competition director for World Series of Pro Mod. So one of the things that we got going on here.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Yeah, just trying to get the new car out so we can come try to make some of the races and stuff this year to make it, a full pass or full events, now. So looking forward to, coming and running the events again. Unfortunately, like I said, we wrecked the car in Ohio
Valley.
Yeah. It's just hard to get the car back together. It's just timing, after COVID and stuff like that. And so, like I said, we finally built this car here. So hopefully we can, at January at the first Ducks race and stuff like that, we can start making the whole series again.
It's going to be good to see you back out. The whole Radio Outlaws Racing Series that they have. under the new banner that they've started. They're going into their second year now.
Yeah.
I think with LDR being your primary look as far as what your car's set up for and everything else like that, how do you feel your chances are?
I mean, pretty good. You know, they're making some changes right now. We got to see what's going to come about, you know, with some of the rule changes. But I think we can compete very well with the class, what it was supposed to be in the very beginning, you know. So, you know, I mean, everybody's out there to go fast, you know. I mean, there's a lot of new cars that people have built, you know. So, to me, I think we got a really competitive car that we can really work with and you know, stay in the top, you know, 10, 12 of the class, which what it already is. You know, we built the car to run PDRA also.
Okay.
So we can put the 3310.5s underneath the car, you know. It's just we're trying to determine what we want to try to really go do, you know, with some of the things that are changing. I got invited to come run PDRA by you also too, and I like it. I mean, I like what you're doing with the PDRA. You know, some of the races are a lot farther away from me, like we was talking before.
Right. Texas is a long haul.
Yeah, it's a long haul, you know. But you know, and it's time away from the business, you know. But we try to make it all managed so we can get out and, you know, show the parts and stuff off for you know, for Borowski, y'all side of it, you know, showing the cars off and bring more people, more spectators to the events and stuff like that.
Right. I think it's really good to see new blood and new folks coming into radial racing. Big steel roof and quarters guy myself. The original LDR and outlaw drag radial stuff was true street driven cars and everything else like that. They have kind of morphed over the years, with the rules being what they are.
Yeah.
And as a rule maker, you know, we're always trying to keep things in check. What are some of the things that you changed from this car, and it's an original intent and everything else like that, to make it LDR legal?
I mean, really and truly, there's not a whole lot. You know, the body's all steel. You know, it just has the carbon door, carbon front end on it. You know, all the chassis side of it. You know, just like the old Outlaw 10.5 days, from the firewall back, it's a promo.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you can see on the car, it's a bolt-on front end still. You know, it's just that the Chevy II, you know, when they came out, they had somewhat of a shock strut system on the car.
Right.
So it does make it better for us to run a car like this. Also, to the wheelbase. These wheelbase on these cars are already 111.
Right.
You know, from the factory.
Yep.
So when you go to a Camaro, it's 109. You know, or 108.
Right, or a Mustang being 101.
Yes, exactly.
So now you've got a little bit more bar angle that you can work with, a little more leverage.
Well, that and also, too, the stability of the car, it drives better. I mean, you see a lot of the Pro Mods and stuff, they're 115-inch wheelbase or more.
Right.
And, you know, you don't see them, you know, wrecking as much, you know, especially as fast as we're going. So, I mean, I definitely, I think the wheelbase does help out a lot, too, with the horsepower also.
Right. I think what we've seen in regards to chassis, engine management, engine building, it's not every day that you get to see something like this LS piece running near the front in one of these classes. What made you choose the LS platform?
You know, Tim and I, when I first came to Borowski, we did a drag week deal, and I think everybody kind of knows that. You know, we started taking the motors and pushing them as far as we could, you know, and see what we could, what was wearing, what was, you know, staying together, what parts you needed to have in one to make them last, you know, and that was the whole thing, you know. I mean, you know, you can go get a Pro Line Hemi, all hats off to those guys, but if you want to put rods in it every 30 passes, I mean, so be it. This has got more longevity to it, unless you just screw up the tune-up, you know, and knock something out. But this thing's got 70 hits on it right now, and there have been many aborted passes. It's been in a wreck and everything, and it's still the same motor. We haven't changed anything on it. I mean, I've spun this motor to 10,000, no problem. You know, we've taken it apart, and I like the LS base, and I think a lot of it is that the horsepower that they make surprised a lot of people.
Right.
You know, for being a small one.
Especially in twin turbo format like what you have here. This is set up for LDR legal. It's Bill Devine's Bullseye turbos and stuff like that. So it's twin 88s. 88's probably the most common turbo across the board in the country for class racing that we see out there, outside of like No Time and some of the back of the track stuff and No Prep and stuff like that, where those guys are able to use a bigger turbochargers. So the 88s being are they a limiting factor for your small block, or is it making all the power it can?
Actually, if you actually look at the turbo, it's a mid-frame turbo.
Right.
We don't even have to run a large frame turbo. You know, a large frame turbo on this car, even for room is so big. I mean, the car is short nosed; they don't have a lot of room. But for what those turbos are, they make a lot of power. For the size of them. I don't always think that bigger is better. You get more back pressure and stuff like that in a bigger turbo. Where these right here, we haven't even got close to 1-to-1.
Gotcha.
And like I said, we run this motor at 60 pounds. We were doing some spool tests the other day, and I think we did about 10 of them, and we made 14 pounds in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, you really can't beat that with technology today and engine management. You look at the throttle body, you look at the turbochargers and everything that they've got going on nowadays, converter technology with dumps and things of that manner there. It allows you to spool the turbo quicker, get in the lights quicker, and be able to react and have a real reaction time, where in the past, it would take a little while.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When we put the Camaro together, we fought a little bit. We have the M-Tron in the car. We had to learn that system, and it's a really good system, and it works really good. But we had some issues trying to spool the car fast enough, in that car. But like you said, all the technology's come out. I mean, we've learned so much more, and we got the car where, we don't get burned down, on a race. So I mean, and also too, the technology that's out is just crazy right now.
Right.
I mean, most of the technology has made every one of these cars go faster.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a day and night difference from what it used to be to what it is now.
Right.
So for a new person to step into the game, they have a lot to learn about what's going on.
Right.
But there's a lot of new cars out there. And I think a lot of people want to come race one of these classes. I think, like he was talking about the rules and stuff like that, I think they got to, pick something, stand by it, stick to the rules. Whatever it says is what it's got to be. If you're outclassing the class, then maybe you need to look somewhere else. You know
right.
what I mean? But,
and I think that's one of the things that we look at in heads-up racing these days. Oftentimes you see somebody with an advantage in a class, whether it be through hard work or the amount of money spent or their tuner or their engine program or all those different parameters or all that stuff coming together, right? And they're head and shoulders above everybody else. And oftentimes you look at folks that may not have the best of the best or whatever.
Sure.
So balancing all that out becomes quite a headache and quite a problem for everybody that's out there. So do you force that guy to move up, right? Does an LDR guy have to move into Pro 275 to continue racing, or an X guy have to move into LDR? Or is it just natural progression where the guy does want to go faster and he does step up?
Yeah.
You stepped in the deep end of the pool by going right after LDR and into that class.
The top of the field is all in 4.0s. I mean, there's a lot of cars. I mean, if you want to run LDR, I mean, you're going to have to be in that 406 to the 380s now.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of those guys that, have those cars. I mean, those cars are heavy. I mean, Garza's car's, 3,300 pounds. I mean, and he's got a great car. He's got great technology. I can't blame him for what he's doing, and he's doing a great job. And, it just, you got to put into the car what you want out of the car.
Right.
And, even though you may not be the fastest guy, that guy knocks tire off and you got a decent time, you can still win.
Right.
So you got to look at it a different way. But, yeah, I mean, it gets frustrating if you have someone who comes in and dominates the class all the time. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's not a secret. But if you put a project together, put something together, you can run with them, or even like those guys, I mean, if they run faster, I mean, you got to, either they have to make a rule change or they don't, or you got to catch them.
Right. And that's one of the things. So there has to be a realistic point of view and your perspective as a driver, racer, car owner, team owner, however you want to look at it. You have to have that realistic perspective and understand that there are going to be some limitations into your capabilities or your crew's capabilities or your combinations capabilities. If there's somebody out there faster than you with basically the same combination, you have to catch that guy before you become the guy that says, hey, I need a rule change or something like that. So if there's somebody faster than you out there with your exact combination or close enough, maybe you need to sort of internally look at what you've got going on to see if there's more that you can do. But if you are at the top of the heap and you're still 3-4 numbers behind, well, maybe the rule makers then maybe need to make an adjustment.
Right. Well, the whole thing about it is, like I said, everybody wants to go fast.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's what we build these cars for. So, it just, I mean, hats off to the guys that go that fast. I mean, you know, I'm not saying we can go that fast, but I mean, I think we have the technology to go that fast. But it depends on what they do with the LDR rules and where we're going to set at. You know, where people are can fit in to come race. You know, I mean, I'm going to tell you now, like I said, the 420s and 30s are out the windows when you come to this class. Now.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, it's too far to slow the cars down that much.
Yep.
You know, and we don't want to lose a car count. You know, we want to give the spectators the speed they're looking for. They want to see a car like this go fast.
Right.
You know, so it is. I mean, I'm sure it's a hard situation on the rules and stuff like that. So, to me, I don't care. I come to race, have fun.
Right.
You know, it's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do my best. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. It's a hobby.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
Well, shoot, that's all we got for today.